And the thing you always talk about, not hurting your team. Where do those things rank and all of that?
Well, I think there's a lot of variables to, being a successful quarterback, and I definitely believe just simply being on the field all the time and getting those reps with your guys, and also making smart decisions. Whether it's me running the football and sliding, getting out of bounds, whether it's taking unnecessary hits. There's a lot of things that you want to be healthy. You want to play out the whole entire season, and I've been able to do that so far in my career. I would say knock on wood, but I'm not superstitious. So, I just believe that the guys do a great job of fighting for me and playing, at their best ability. And I think something that we always talk about in the quarterback room is always protect the quarterback, meaning just get out of bounds, get down, making the smart decision.
What about the not hurting you? You talk about that a lot, getting in a position where you don't hurt your team.
Yeah, I think also too, playing the quarterback position, there's a certain calculated risk to a lot of things that those decisions that you make throughout the game, and there's certain times where you have to go for it, and it's fourth and 15. You have to throw it no matter what, and there's certain situations where you still have 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and you trust your defense to make a play, so you may have to throw it away. And so those smart decisions, I think, evolve into great opportunities for your defense to make a big play, but also another opportunity for your offense to get back out on the field.
Russell, you guys haven't had a stretch where you've lost 3 times in 6 games. How do you feel the morale of the team is at this stage, and kind of addressing that? You feel there's an added pressure on you guys right now?
I don't think there's any added pressure. I just know that, every week for us, it truly is a championship mentality. And, I think we haven't played our best football. We've played some good football, and we played some great football against some great teams. And you think about the Packers, you think about the Broncos, some other teams, so that's the part that you have to grab onto. We lost to the Cowboys, a team that's probably arguably one of the best teams in football right now. We lost to them, and we're up 23-20 with 3rd and 20, and Tony Romo makes a great play. He's a great quarterback, and he makes an unbelievable play. So you think about that, and there's so many great things that we're doing. There's a few things that we need to fix, but that's the part that we lean on. That's the part that we practice for. That's where we believe that we're going to step up and make the plays when we need to.
Do you feel like the offense kind of took a step forward in the second half of those on-touchdown drives you had?
Well, I definitely believe, in terms of offensively, we were able to make some huge plays, and in that second half against the Rams. And it's a very good defense. They play a very tough game, so we were able to get that 80-yard drive, I believe a 90-some-yard drive, and another 80-yard drive in a row. So, those are things that we can do on offense and that we need to continue to do.
During that stretch, is that what this offense should be? Is that kind of the way you guys kind of see it when you kind of evaluate what you want to do, is to have it look like that? That kind of mix of play calling and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I believe our offense, we always want to be explosive. I believe we had 12 explosive plays against the Rams. Those are things that we can do. We have those type of players. We have the receivers. We have the tight ends. We have, obviously, the running backs and Marshawn and Robert Turbin. And so that's what we want to do. We want to rely on those guys to make the plays for us, make the consistent plays, but also be great on third down. That's where we were able to separate, in terms of offensively last time, is we were great on third down. And so those are the things that we're capable of, and we have to show up and do that every week.
Darryl talked about yesterday about tempo and how important that was. Can you kind of explain why that's so important to you guys as an offense?
Well, tempo is so essential to an offense just because it allows you to stay in rhythm. It allows you to stay on schedule, too, as well. And I think that when playing offensive football, it's one of those things where when you're in rhythm, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop an offense, and so I think that's something that we're definitely trying to focus on. It's definitely something that I think that I always need to focus on for our team and getting guys in and out of the huddle and just making sure that we're moving quickly and moving on time.
Russell, Carolina struggled on defense this year. How are they different than the team we faced a year ago?
Well, they're just missing the quarterback. They're right around getting turnovers. They're right there. Similar to our defense, really. Our defense is playing some tough football, and we've gone against some tough offenses. So everybody's right there, and I think that's the same thing you kind of see in the Panthers as well. So we're going to have to play our best football. We know how good they are. We know Luke Kuechly is a great football player, and all the things that he can do. There's so many other great players on their team. So we're going to have to play A-plus football.
How do you notice the attitude of the locker room perhaps changing this week after the trade of Percy Harvin?
Well, in terms of Percy, like I said last week, we wish him nothing but the best. I'm praying for him that it works out there in New York and everything. In terms of our locker room's great. We have guys that are very positive, guys that really want to work and really want to win, and that's what we need. We need that for sure, and we have that, and that's what we're relying on. The positive mentality of the guys that we have in the room.
Did you have major differences with him at some point? Is that overblown in the media, the differences you had with him?
Yeah, Percy and I never had differences. He's a guy that, we had a lot of similarities probably. If anything, guys that, want to compete at the highest level, want to win every single time you step on the field, want the ball in our hands and make the big play and everything. And so, I'm not sure, why the media tries to blow everything out of proportion. It's part of it, I guess. It's part of it. You have to deal with it. But you also ignore it, too. Like I always tell you guys, ignore the noise. So, Percy's a Virginia guy. I wish nothing but the best for him.
Also, you have so many of those guys that want the ball, range. How do you approach that?
I try to keep it simple. Throw the ball to the right guy at the right time. Whoever's open. And that's what really playing the quarterback position is about. Leading your team and trying to keep everybody positive. Also, just facilitating the ball to the right guy at the right time. And then when you can do that, it gets things in rhythm and offense starts making plays.
Russell, on all that, there was a report yesterday that there's supposedly division in the locker room. Can you put all that to rest? Is there any sense of that to you or any of that stuff?
There's no division in our locker room. There's none at all. If anything, I think we've continued to build. Continue to grow. If anything, I truly believe that. I think that the guys that we have in the locker room, the guys that believe that we can still go 1-0 and still be a championship team. Those are the guys that we have. Sitting in this room every day, every morning when we wake up, we're looking for one common goal, and that's to win football games.
What were your thoughts on Robert Turbin filling in as fullback last week? 10 minutes.
Well, Robert Turbin filling in Roomy, him stepping up to play fullback for us last game was huge. He's so versatile. He can catch, he can play receiver, he can play running back. Obviously, he stepped up for us playing the fullback position. Obviously, we missed Derek Coleman. He hurt his foot, so. I think that just to have guys that can just step up and lead that way and block for Marshawn and make plays and be consistent. He did a great job. I thought he did phenomenal. And he's a star running back, too. So there's so many things that he can do, and that's what you want to rely on, guys that can do multiple things.
How might it help the offense if it comes to it, Turbin and Lynch on the field at the same time?
Well, to have those two star-studded players in the field in terms of Robert Turbin and Marshawn, length on the field at the same time. It's tough on our defense because they can do so many things, and so it's versatile. You know, it makes us even that much more difficult to cover, I believe, and it's a good thing for us.
The noise that you're advising us to ignore, do you see that as part of a Super Bowl champion that gets scrutinized and everyone wants to have an opinion about them whenever they succeed or fail?
You know, I think that you're going to have a lot of successes, you're going to have a lot of failures, but I think a big part of it is, especially when you win a Super Bowl, especially when things have gone really well. I think a big part of it is also being able to block a lot of the noise, and that what I mean by saying that is, I don't watch ESPN. I don't read any of y'all's articles. No offense, I just stay away from it all, and I think that's a major part of it for me because I have complete confidence in who I am. Complete confidence in the person that I'm striving to be every day, and the person that I'm working to be, and I'm an educated individual that wants to continue to learn and continue to get better at the game of football, but also in life. And so that's where my focus is every morning I wake up, and I don't pay attention to the outside stuff. It'll never make me waver, in terms of my confidence. So that's where I am on that.
Have you always been that way, or did it start since you came in the NFL?
I've kind of always been that way. I kind of learned at a young age. My parents really instilled that in me, just to be confident in the man that I am, and the player that I am. And I've had a lot of experience. I've gone through a lot of ups and downs in life. I've seen a lot of good things, seen a lot of bad, but I've also had a lot of great things happen in my life too, because I've always persevered. And I think that's something that, I try to keep my focus on. And God's just continuing to show me so much grace just to be the starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. Come on. It doesn't get any better. So that's where my focus is, every day.
It's any different for the team ignoring the noise this year just because of the target that's on your back and all that kind of stuff than it was maybe the last year or two? Or
I don't think it's any different for us. Last year we had high expectations for ourselves. The media had high expectations for us. This year, the media's had high expectations for us. This year, we've had high expectations for us. Doesn't sound like it's changed. All I know is we're 3-3, but I look at it as we're 0-0. We got 10 games left, and what's going to happen? So that's kind of where we have a chance to really make a difference and make a statement, and we'll see what happens.
If you're a media guy, would you have a hard time understanding why Percy was traded if he was such a good guy?
It's not for, that's for the front office's side, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I believe that Percy's going to do a great job, and he's, like I said, he's a great football player. For whatever reason, it didn't work here, But I know he'll do a great job. I know that we're excited about the guys that we have too, for having Paul Richardson to be able to step up and to make plays like he did last week, to have Norwood be able to step up and make plays for us, and all the other guys that we have. We have a bunch of guys that are really, really great football players, so that's an exciting thing.
From Richardson and Norwood up until this point, what do you expect to see from them now going forward, now that they're going to be more part of the game?
Well, what you see from Norwood and Richardson, Paul Richardson, you see so much speed. You see great hands, first of all, and you see great route running. And they're relentless in the way they practice. They go against our first-team defense, every day, and the plays that they make, the catches that they make, the blocks that they make, they show up. They did a great job in preseason. They've done a great job so far, and then for them to step up and come into the game and to get activated and play at a high level, that's exciting. That's an exciting thing for us, and an exciting thing for our future, and all the things that they can do. And so you can only ask for an opportunity. You know, when you get that opportunity, will you take full advantage of it? And I know they will. And that's the great thing about Paul Richardson and Kevin Norwood.
Talked about kind of the comfort level he had being in the slot, because that's where he played a lot his first 3 years. Is that kind of worked that way for you as well? Is he almost more comfortable throwing him the ball because of what you're used to with him?
Well, Doug Baldwin's done an amazing job outside and in the slot, and so all the things that he can do. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league, just because he can do so many things. He's so quick. He can beat you deep downfield. He's got great hands. You've seen how many amazing catches he's made, you know, especially last year. You think about all the big-time catches against Houston, against other teams, the Saints, and he's shown up for us this year too. So I'm looking forward to continue to play with Doug and all the plays that he can make.
Russell, we have to interview J.R. Sneezy later today. He's not the most talkative guy. I'm wondering, knowing him from NC State, if you can suggest a line of questioning or a subject that might make him say more than 5 words.
There's not too much that J.R. Sweezy is going to talk about. You know, he's just a hard worker. And in terms of line of questioning, I can't give away everything. But the thing I love about J.R. Sweezy is just how far he's come. You think about a guy that played defense. Think about a guy that went to NC State and he came in. We were I was in one room, he was in the room next to me, and just we developed that really good relationship. And a guy that played defense and has transferred to being one of the best guards in football. And maybe asking him about his mindset is probably the best thing to ask him, just because I believe that he's a champion in that way. He really is a different, very unique person in that way, because to be able to do the things that he can do at such a high level, that's what makes J.R. Sweezy so special.
Did he keep a clean room?
Did he keep a clean room? I think there's more of his roommates that didn't keep the clean room. J.R. Sweezy, he has a locker next to me too, ironically, and so right now, and obviously we're rooms right next to each other in college, but if I leave a sandal, on his side, he just kicks it and throws it in my locker. He's a very organized person. So I think it was more so his roommates from before that didn't keep a clean room. Anybody else?
Good.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. Pass the peace.